Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We are going to be starting on week 2. So, this week we're going to dive into some more exercises that are still introductory in a way, and it's going to kind of set you up for not only success in this class, but success in general for college. Some useful readings and exercises that you're going to do that's going to kind of get everything started and set the stage. Hopefully by now, after week 1, you've kind of gotten a feel for how to submit your assignments, how to use the text entry box for the few assignments that let you upload like a Microsoft Word document, how to do all of that. Hopefully you watched that little 4-minute video if you weren't sure how to do it. I did have a couple, I think I only had 2 students out of both of my classes that had emailed and said that they couldn't figure out how to get the text entry box to work, or they didn't see how they were supposed to submit it, and they ended up it sounded like they ended up getting it figured it out after I kind of emailed back and forth with them. So hopefully everyone else got the hang of it and there wasn't any other issues. If you did miss an assignment from last week in week 1, maybe you logged in a little bit late in the week and you didn't get some of them done, just go ahead and finish them up, even though they're going to be late and you'll get a late deduction. Go ahead and finish them up if you haven't done them yet. Get them submitted so you at least get some points instead of getting a 0, and then just kind of move on to week 2 and just try to get caught up. And just remember that you need to have everything submitted by this Sunday at 11:59 p.m. if you want your assignments to be considered on time, where you can have the potential to get the full points. So what we're going to do is just kind of go over the assignments a little bit. I'm not going to go too much in depth because there's pretty much when you click on any of the assignments, you're going to have a lot of explanation on how to do it. You just need to make sure you read the directions thoroughly, don't skip over things, and it should be pretty self-explanatory. And then you can always email me if you have further questions about them. But basically what we're going to get started on, as you can see here in our class for week 2, is you're going to get started on campus resources. So you need to click on the reading, and then you're going to have 2 activities to do for campus resources. So make sure when you click on this, I'm going to click on it. My face is going to disappear for a second, and then I will pop back up here in just one sec. So when you click on this reading, you're going to see that there's some links that you need to click on there, and this right here you don't need to worry about because that's what's going to be the activity that you see basically following up after this reading. So read this real quick and then click on the link, because it's going to show you all of the campus resources that are available at Rose State College, and pretty much most of them are free to the students. And it's always good to kind of go through all of those so you can see if any of them pertain to you. There may be some resources on there that you didn't even know the school has to offer, and the resources are a very good way for students to potentially get help with things, whether it be, like financial aid help. It could be scholarships. It could be some of the clubs and organizations on campus that offer services for students that could be of a lot of help. There's a lot of services that are for things, like for single mothers. There's all sorts of resources that we have on campus. And every time I do this assignment with the classes for the last 4.5 years that I've been teaching this class, pretty much a lot of the students in my classes did not even know that there was this many resources that Rose State College offered students. And a lot of them were really interested in trying to use some of those resources once they learned about them. So that's why we kind of go over this and we do this exercise in reading. So just please make sure that you click on that link and that you read through the campus resources, because when you do these 2 activities right here that go along with the reading, you're going to want to be kind of familiar with resources that are available so you can answer these 2 activities a little bit more in depth. And then we just kind of dive into a little bit more information with the One Step Closer reading. Just make sure any links or videos, you click on those in the readings as well. So you make sure you're not missing anything from like the Road Trip Nation, which I mentioned last week, which is some of the information that you're going to follow, which is just some students that are kind of going on their college journey and they're beginning towards figuring out their life path. And so it just ties in well with what this class is all about, in most of the time for students trying to either figure out what they want their major to be, figuring out just in general how they want to go about their goals, how they want to, achieve their dreams, their goals, and things like that. And so we read through that and we watch those videos from Road Trip Nation to kind of go along with the readings and the information that we give you in this class. So make sure you're just clicking on all those links and videos that are in the reading. And then there's going to be 2 exercises to do after you complete the One Step Closer reading. And then this one is actually a discussion and reflection that is pertaining to this reading. And then this activity right here is called My Map Preparation. And the reason that we have you do this assignment is because a lot of times students in general, they may already know their major, they may already know some of the classes that they have to take, but they may not actually see the bigger picture of what it's going to take to basically see what the end result is going to be when they're finally going to be done with their degree. And so we have students do this activity so that way they can kind of actually see the bigger picture. So you're actually going to be mapping out your semesters going forward. You're going to basically map out whatever semesters you've already taken, write down the classes that you've already taken if you've completed them. And then you're also going to map out your future classes. Even if you don't end up taking those classes in that exact order, it's just a way for you to be able to see the bigger picture of trying to plan out, how many units you think you're going to take each semester, what classes you think you may potentially take, and then be able to actually stretch it out and see how many semesters potentially it might take you to get your degree. And it's always good to see that bigger picture. So that's why we do this assignment. But one thing that I'm going to point out, I'm going to go ahead and click on it just so we can go over it real quick. I gave you the entire description for this activity, but you're not actually going to complete the map as of right now. All you need to do is we're preparing for it. So all you need to do, if you have already selected your major, or if there is a prospective major that you are interested in that maybe you haven't declared yet, but it's something that you are interested in, you need to get the blank degree sheet from the college. So let's just say you wanted to go into business administration. Depending on what field of that you might particularly be going into, you need to get the degree sheet from either your advisor, or you can go on like the School of Business's basically their webpage through the Rose State College website, and you should be able to find the degree sheets for all the different degrees that they have housed in the business department. So just make sure that you're finding the blank degree sheet. You don't need to fill it out for this assignment. You're just turning it in so that way you have it and you're prepared to do the My Map assignment later on in the semester. But we're just preparing for it so that way you can kind of even start working on it now, but you're not going to submit it for many, many weeks. But it gives you time to kind of think about it, think about how you want to plan out your classes, how things are going to go. So we're just preparing for it. So I put the entire description of the project just so you can see it and kind of prepare yourself. But right here, number 1 is the only thing that you're submitting this week in week 2. So you're just submitting that blank degree sheet so I can see that you have your degree sheet. If you are not 100% sure what the degree sheets look like, you'll find here that I posted a link of one of the business schools programs. It's just a blank degree sheet for you to look at so you can see what they look like. So when you're looking for it, or if you go to your advisor to try to get it, you basically, know what you're looking for. So you can click on this link here if you need to see what one of the blank degree sheets look like. So just be aware that you're just turning in the blank degree sheet. You're not submitting the entire assignment. You can feel free to start working on it whenever you want, but it's not actually going to be due as completed until several weeks from now. So moving on from there, we do have a section on student professionalism because that is a very important topic that some students sometimes need a little more information on that so they understand what it's going to take in order to not only get the most out of your college experience, but it's a good lesson for you going into a career workplace. Professionalism in general is something that is always desired by employers. It's desired by your professors, just anyone like that that's going to be looking at you, whether it be for a job or something like that. If you can conduct yourself in a professional manner, that is going to give you a leg up in so many ways. And so we do this assignment about student professionalism, and then you're going to do a discussion and reflection exercise based off of this reading. And then you have a couple more readings to do, and then we have a practicing calculating your GPA assignment. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on this because last semester, since this was the first time we piloted this new resource that we're using for college life and strategies, this was a new assignment that we did. And most of the students understood what to do, and they they put in the information the way that they were supposed to in order to calculate the GPA, but they didn't pay attention to some minute details. And so they ended up getting the assignment wrong because they weren't paying attention to details. So just make sure that you read the directions when you click on the link that you're going to see below down here. You're going to see a page pop up on your computer, phone, whatever, that looks like this. It's called a college GPA calculator. And you're going to see the categories on the page where it's going to ask for a course name, what grade was achieved in that course, and then how many credits that course was worth. So what you're doing for this assignment, I'm giving you a set of information that you will have to input into this GPA calculator. And then if you are inputting everything correctly, you should get a certain GPA that's calculated for that information. You're submitting that number, that GPA number, because I want to see if you're paying attention and you're inputting the right information. Then there's also a bonus points opportunity, but you have to pay attention and really read the directions and make sure that you are looking at the details, because this is where a lot of students ended up missing out on bonus points because they weren't paying attention to how this was worded and what it was that I was asking for. I'm not going to give you too much information because you're going to have to figure this out on your own, but I'm just giving you that heads up to make sure you are paying attention to the details and that you're not giving me one answer thinking it's what I'm asking for when in fact I'm not asking for that. So just make sure you read very carefully when you're reading through this and what it is that I'm asking you to input into this GPA calculator before you submit your assignment. So that is going to be that activity. And that is about it for the week. It just kind of gives us some information getting started, learning about some of the campus resources, learning about some important topics like student professionalism, some more information about higher education. And then we just do this practice of the calculating a GPA, because if you learn how to use a GPA calculator like this, it's actually kind of beneficial, because let's say you have a semester where maybe you didn't get the grades that you were hoping to get, but you want to see what it's going to take maybe in your following semester to get your GPA back up to where you want it. And you can use a GPA calculator like the one that I have as a link for that assignment. You can use a GPA calculator like that to input grades that you've already gotten. And let's say you have a certain GPA after the semester that you're in and you want to, raise it. You could input for the next 3 classes that you're planning on taking the following semester. And you could input, like, if you predict or you want to make an A in all of those classes, you'd be able to see what your GPA would raise up to. So it's kind of cool to use something like that. And if you want to keep that GPA calculator on your computer to use going forward, like when you're going through the rest of your semesters, feel free to save that, to your favorites or something on your phone or on your computer, because that's something you'd be able to use for other semesters. So you'd be able to kind of gauge if you do better in certain classes, where your GPA is going to end up if you end up making all A's the next semester, if you didn't do so well in the semester that you're in. So just keep that in mind and just save that to your favorites if you want to be able to use it again. If you have any questions this week, just let me know. Please be aware that this week is when I'm going to be grading all of week 1 assignments. So please give me the week to get everything graded. Like I stated last week, usually when you submit something by Sunday evening, throughout the rest of the next week is when I'm going to be grading those assignments from the previous week. So since I have 2 classes and I've got about 60 plus students to grade, it's going to take me a little bit throughout the week. So just be prepared to kind of give me that time. You'll probably see a couple of things get posted here and there as I'm working my way through all the students and all the assignments from last week. So please be patient. Give me the full week to try to get everything graded. And then usually I don't have an issue with getting everything graded within the week, but I just wanted to kind of bring that up again and just say, give me that full, week after you've submitted the due date for an assignment for the previous week. I will try to get everything graded during the following week for last week. So, other than that, if you have more, questions or anything or concerns or anything like that this week, just send me an email. Please don't leave comments for me in your assignments unless you're just letting me know something about the assignment that you submitted, because I don't check your comments like I would emails. So if you have actual questions about something, send it to me by email, please. Don't leave it as a comment in your assignment, because like I said, I'm not going to get to your assignment until the following week to start grading it. So I won't be able to answer your question because I most likely won't see it. So just make sure you're emailing me any questions that you might have about an assignment or anything like that. All right, well, that is all I have for you this week, and I will see you all next week in week 3.